which was the
All
case.
right. Well, here we are at wine tasting. What is it, 58 now? This time around, we'll be doing something a little fun and memey, which is we're going to be doing. I don't have that screen share. Let's just do screen share from here. Share.
So
So
this is
we are going to be looking at, well, um, pairing with Halloween candy. So we've got a couple of different things here that I've kind of looked at as ones to really try out, kind of to verify. What we've got is a couple of reds. So we've got a Zinfandel, which as with the one on the left, should kind of go well with the Hershey's Special Dark. Um, but at the same time, it's also on the right. It's also supposed to go with Snickers. So
Hmm.
so we'll kind of try a few of those things. Then we have a Cabernet Sauv, which should also go well with more of your dark chocolate types. But according to at least the one on the right, it's supposed to go with Reese's peanut butter cups. Um, I'm a little, I want to say, hesitant about that, but I'm always glad to be proven wrong. Our next in the lineup is going to be our Riesling, and it's an off-dry German Riesling from Dr. Heidemann. And the off-dry and it being kind of more in the like an actual German Riesling should have a good amount of like tropical and citrus notes to it. So as you can kind of see from the left picture, it's supposed to go kind of like with your Starburst, but on the right, it also goes with Skittles. It pretty much, if you're just looking at like citrusy notes, is probably where you're pretty well off. Plus, it being an off dry, um, that is kind of one of the things, especially with your whites and your citruses. Um, the kind of rule of thumb is that you want the wine at the same level, if not almost even sweeter than the candy, which or whatever the dessert is. But I mean, considering these things are just essentially manufactured sugar, I don't know if we're going to get that close, but it's better than say like a dry white. And lastly, and it's kind of the whole reason why uh, I really wanted to do this pairing, which is on the left picture, the Reese's peanut butter cup with either the Amontillado or Oloroso sherry. Now, both of those really kind of excited me because, well, we've done a sherry uh, session before, and one of the main kind of notes of those kinds of sherries, which are aged, is there's that oxidative, nutty note to it. So, you know, that nutty note going with something nutty like a Reese's peanut butter cup, really does make sense. But I wanted to go, still on that rule of thumb of, make have your wine sweet, at least somewhat sweet, to pair with a dessert. And so instead of an Amontillado or Oloroso, we've got a cream sherry, which is a Oloroso sherry, just mixed with Pedro Jimenez grape to sweeten it up. So we'll go back to this, every now and then, but there isn't really going to be a education session this time. It's just going to be kind of freewheeling and trying out the wine. So first one we're going to try is our what is this? The Oak Ridge 2021 Lodi Ancient Vines Zinfandel. Now, I mean, Lodi is known for its Zinfandel. In fact, it's it kind of self labels itself the Zin capital of the world. So and Oak Ridge is very popular over there. So Let's give this thing a try. We're still going to evaluate these things because, well, yeah, that's what we do. Now, in terms of color, I'd put this, I could still see a shadow of my finger through the light. So I'd put this at a medium ruby. There is absolutely no room variation. Oh, and I see you guys got your camera working. So cool. Let's go ahead and move pin. Now I can see you guys as well. So let's go ahead and give this thing a swirl and sniff so we can kind of maybe gauge, well, what is this going to go well with?
It smells caramel.
Getting caramel?
Yeah.
I'm just getting blackberry and plum, a little bit of black pepper, and it almost smells like baker's chocolate. So
go with it. That's what I'm trying with it.
For this Snickers, is that right?
yeah, according to this, the Zins go with Snickers, and then the Hershey's Special Dark. But
you want like really dark chocolate, like it's just chocolate and sugar from Italy or Sicily. I can't remember.
That's really good with the Snickers.
Is it?
Yep. Really, really good.
Like,
so Zin and Snickers, huh?
I'm a little surprised.
So I wonder which part of the Snickers that it goes well with. Is it the chocolate part, or is it the caramel? Is it the
Saltiness.
or is it a combination of all?
Yeah.
You mentioned you got a little caramel in there, so that's a good pair.
Really good with roast beef. Maybe it's just really good.
it is really good.
You got your fancy chocolate.
Absolutely.
Just a little.
Yeah, I don't know how to make it any smaller. Yeah, I can do enough. Break it.
So I don't seem to have any. I don't. Well, in my little variety pack, apparently they didn't come in a Snickers, but they have like the little peanutty Mr. Good bar, and I think it's almost the bitterness from the peanut.
Oh yeah.
That's what's really kind of bringing out. It's like balancing out like the acid inside of inside the Zin.
I think it's a really good pairing.
Well,
Oh yeah,
so far they're our little posters are 1 for 1. Though now I've got to try it with the special dark to see if dark chocolate is how well it pairs with this as well.
That's so good. Chocolate. Oh.
Well, and this one has cinnamon in it, and this one is made with goat milk.
Oh.
It's the only one of theirs that's made with the milk.
Yummy.
I don't like that as much.
I'd put it with the Snickers, I think.
Then
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I think it's the milk chocolate and the peanut. But actual dark chocolate, it loses something in here. So that's now giving me. So if we were looking back at our thing here, on the left side we had a Zin with the special dark, not so good, but the Snickers on the right did work. So we'll see how, again, which one seems to make more of a pattern, like with the off dry Riesling, is it going to go better with the Starburst, or is it going to go better with the Skittles?
What?
The pulled pork, this tastes really good.
Oh, thank you.
But I'm also going to try it with just like some real food.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pulled
Yeah.
pork- pulled pork
I
and
had
barbecue is-
some of this roast beef and it was really good with the roast beef. Not great. Yeah, the Oak Ridge.
They always give me like $2 or $3 off.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there quite a few times. It's a cool little place. Their tasting room is, well, yeah, it's still inside of I'll say like a giant barrel, but it's like a giant vat. I mean, the entire outside is what you would, like an old, I don't know, like 10,000 gallon, just like wooden barrel. And
That's
you walk into it, and it's it's a very interesting thing. Though I never understood. So it's called Oak Ridge, but the like the letters on it are OZV. Like if you see a lot of the Oak Ridge things, it'll say OZV, which is always, well, maybe that just stands for like, well, actually it wouldn't stand for Old Vine Zinfandel. It's like,
Old Vine Zinfandel?
but that wouldn't, well, but that would be OVZ, not
Yeah.
OZV.
Old Zinfandel vines.
Old Zin vines, yep.
Yeah.
Are there any regulations on calling something an ancient vine?
I don't know, but I also know that, a lot of the Zen vines that are in Lodi, like there's plenty of them that are reported to be like 80 to 100 years old.
Yeah, this says that they have to be 50 to 100 years old to be OZB.
What is it? You like buy a 100-year-old vine and plant it until you have a 100-year-old vine, or does it have to be 100 years?
I think.
I think retransplanting it might be hard.
I don't know.
That'd be hard to do.
Yeah, if you're doing like a cutting, from an old vine, I don't think it takes on the year of what you cut.
Yeah.
Because vines they're cloned like apple trees, right? Like it's not like you're growing a plant from the seed or anything. Or you're
Correct.
not-
Yeah, you're getting like a shoot that you're then sticking into like rootstock.
Hey, you'd use a Gerber rootstock that's resistant to the
Phylloxera. But when they probably say, that age of vine, that's typically the age of the root, or not the root, but the trunk.
actually growing in that location. Because America hasn't really had wine that long. It depends on how you say that long, right? That's all.
I mean, at this point, over 100 years just means it was planted back in like, the early 1900s.
Right.
And, out west has been kind of, well, the Wild West for wine for a while. But you also kind of think about it in terms of like when phylloxera hit, well, what used to be out, well, everywhere was a lot of Spanish varietals. And when that hit, it wiped all of them out. And what came in was like a lot of French. And that's how all of a sudden, it's because out, especially out west, a lot of the vineyards that were out there, the cuttings and whatnot were brought by a bunch of missionaries.
Yeah, the missionaries weren't carrying Zinfandel. They were carrying that like, what do they call it?
Word of God.
Word of God and Tempranillo. But once that hit and all the vines got ruined, and they found, okay, well, we can use this rootstock, but all our vines are dead.
Yeah.
Well, we need new cuttings. And then the French Huguenots came through and gave us a bunch of French vines, and that's what kind of took off.
Yes, you're a dumb.
Except I mean, the funny thing is that Zinfandel isn't French. I mean, for the most part, it's Italian. It's Primitivo.
No, it's Croatian.
Well, I mean, originally, yeah, it's that really long, weird name that now they just say that they're the birthplace of Zin.
What is it? Oh, shit. I don't remember. But yes.
Well, you looking up the name of it?
No, they talked about it when we were in Croatia this spring. They talked a lot about it.
Yeah, there's one guy out in Lodi that is Croatian, and he still calls it by that name. And he has like cuttings, like everybody else's cuttings are like Italian and whatnot. His actually come from Croatia, so he actually gives it that weird long name. I think the place starts with a D. It's like Drago or
I thought it was Slavic Mali.
Well, Slavic Molly's that's way different.
Oh, it's different. Okay. Okay.
All right. Let's go ahead and move into our second wine. And so we're actually going just a little west from where we were in Lodi to Paso Robles. And we're doing our Justin Cab Sauv. This is just their kind of introductory cab. Their really kind of higher end one is the Isosceles, which is fairly good. I wouldn't quite call it great for the price, but it's decent. But today, since we're really just having this thing with candy, can't really beat it for Justin's regular stuff for just the price.
Thank you.
Could have got you.
I need help or a pour cup.
Now can anyone else actually see the like their finger shadow through the bottom? Because I can't. I would actually call this a deep ruby.
Absolutely, yeah. You can see my fingers right through it.
Wow.
Do the light.
Well, I can do the bottom, not through the side. Through the bottom, I can.
Yeah, like right through the core. Can you see your shadow? Can you see your finger shadow through the core?
Yeah. Sort of.
I mean, I yes.
No, I don't know.
Oh, I definitely can. It's a definite yes for me.
All right.
But I have a very small pour.
Yeah. Guess it really depends on how much you have in your glass to how much you're tipping to the side for that core area.
Cherry.
All right, let's give this thing a smell and see what we smell.
Sure. And nose.
Ooh, this one's very different than the Zin.
It smells
Cherry?
cedar. Yeah, cherry.
You say chicory?
No, cherry.
Cherry and cedar.
Okay. No, I definitely get a lot of like red fruits in here.
Mhm.
Get a spiciness, like saltiness.
Spice,
Yeah,
like a baking spice.
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
Hmm. Oh, anything else? I'm definitely still getting like that, like a whiff of vanilla, but still much more on the chocolate end.
mhm.
But there's also that there's a funky green note in there. That's like green peppercorn. Yeah. All right. Well, let's give this thing a taste before we dive into our candies. Cheers.
You guys are gonna laugh at me, but it's almost like banana Laffy Taffy.
Really?
Just a little bit,
You're getting
like on the back of my tongue.
Okay, I
manufacturer
can actually
smells?
I can see that.
you get, is it in that Payday neighborhood?
What?
The
No,
Band-Aid neighborhood,
it's-
like a plasticky taste?
No.
Like artificial
No.
banana flavor.
Yeah. Yeah,
Huh.
and maybe some of the vanilla.
Uh-huh.
Are we Butterfingers now?
You do Butterfingers, I think.
What are we supposed to do with this?
Oh, let's pull it up real quick.
Sorry, he was in a moment. Wrecked it.
Oh.
Sorry, man.
Okay, so we've got Reese's, but I would also try it with some of like the darker chocolates.
Reese's.
Yeah, I'd say first I would go, with the lighter, because the Reese's peanut butter cups are going to be, milk chocolate, comparatively to your darks, which are well, much more dark chocolate.
Not milk.
You hand me the Reese's for fast.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Now, I also read somewhere else, like, I don't know if you have them, but another place was also suggesting Whoppers.
Oh, I love waffles.
Me too. That malt.
Mm. Not sure how that. I mean, it's not bad with Reese's.
I'm not sure I like this with the dark chocolate that we have. I'm sure I don't.
Oh, I'll like Reese's peanut butter.
Or the goat milk one.
Yeah, it's not bad with the goat milk one. I like it better than with the Reese's. I don't like it with the Reese's.
Yeah, I don't either.
I feel it's not terrible because Reese's is one of my favorite things.
It just it
Doesn't help
it gives it like a weird like astringency.
Yeah.
It's better.
Like eat the Reese's or drink the wine.
Ooh, the peanuts and the Snickers work well with it. Maybe it's the fat from the peanut.
Wouldn't that be in
You should have some nuts in there.
Let's try it with Mr. Goodbar. See if the peanuts really kind of cut it.
It's pork.
It's okay.
Well, she's got.
Roast beef.
Oh, this roast beef, I missed that.
It's okay with the taco.
Okay, so it must have been just the peanut butter, because the peanuts it works with.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you want to try the Reese's cup?
Sure. I think it works well with the cashews
So
too.
if you get that, it's a bitter assembly.
She
This?
put it all together.
I did it. I mean, I bought the cheese already sliced, but
Oh, I like it with the taco. Or
Mhm.
pork.
The roast beef. Really sweets it.
it's what he listed on the.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah,
We
he
should-
said
we should just mention
Herb,
it.
goat cheese, and rare roast beef.
Yeah, this is why I'd kind of thought of for
not candy.
yeah. Well, to go with this wine in particular,
Mhm.
just because of those kind of like herby notes that I was expecting to be in the wine. Though I will say that I just tried it with the Hershey Special Dark, and I think that's my favorite of the three different chocolate candies.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, this is definitely a dark chocolate wine.
Not
I
working
didn't
for
think
you,
it was
Rachel?
bad with the dark. Just-
What?
I thought it
Not
was,
working for you.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that little bag of blue things I had up here.
The what things? Blueberries? They were.
Yeah, try it.
That's it.
Yeah, good question.
Grab 'em.
I can tell you right now, it's not. So it's dried fruit and chocolate.
Oh, is that the Brook Ridge, like chocolate covered
The Brookside.
Brookside? Yep.
Yeah, no, I don't like chocolate and dried fruit ever. So I don't do chocolate covered raisins.
Uh,
Mm-mm.
all right. Now try this with some real food.
And those cordial cherries are just.
Some of that is all.
all right, let's
All
start.
right.
We got the,
On-
on it.
On to our next. So our next is going to be our Dr. Heidemann Riesling.
Oh.
So this is a German Riesling from Mosel, and it's supposed to be going with our Starburst and Skittles. I also have some Sour Patch Kids as well. I've never actually had Sour Patch Kids, but it was another.
Ever in your life?
Sour Patch are one of my favorites.
First they're sour.
Then they're sweet.
All right, so let's go ahead and give this thing a pour.
You need a fish.
Sorry.
Way to take one for the team, Kurt.
I am basically the poor bucket here. Whatever.
Okay.
Okay, so he's had like just a pale yellow. I mean, it's a really young Riesling, so it's a 2022. And like I said, this is like your typical German Riesling, which they're typically off dry, which means they're just going to have like that slight amount of sugar into them. Gives a little bit more body. But let's give it a swirl and a sniff and see what we get. See if we're getting those like at least the citrus notes that we're expecting to have in the candy that we hopefully should have in here.
And you like 2 Skittles.
Really good.
One of each color. That was
I
cool.
get that.
Huh. I'm
Oh.
getting a lot more lychee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like lychee and peach.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, let's give this thing a taste and see if we get anything different. I'm hoping for some petrol and lime.
Mm.
Okay.
That was unexpected. It's very limey. Mhm.
Yeah.
Probably should be great with taco. Put lime and everything in that thing.
All right. No. Mm-mm.
You don't like the taste of the Reese.
Not really.
It tastes like Skittles.
I think it's
sweet and
There you go.
might be because I didn't even want it.
All right.
I just had some cheese. So.
Well, I guess this is a good way to go through the least wanted Starburst in your like a Starburst pack, which is the yellow lemon.
my favorite.
And we'll see how of all of them, I think that this one's the one that's going to pair best with it, even though maybe the orange could as well.
I like that one.
I like
Do
that.
we have Starburst or only Skittles? Okay.
I forgot, I have a whole bag of Starburst on my dresser. And I left it. But it was only.
Maybe you have a. Sure.
Oh,
I don't want to share.
after being on keto for the last 2 months straight. Oh, this is so much sugar.
So much sugar.
If you've been on keto, you're gonna feel like shit tomorrow.
Ooh,
The Skittles do help it quite a bit.
wow. Okay, so the lemon Starburst. Wow,
Turn it into a margarita.
it turns it almost into lemonade.
Well, I had an orange Skittle. It does make the wine better. But I'm not a huge Skittle fan to start with.
It's really good with the strawberry.
Yeah.
I'm going with a combination.
Tempers it quick.
Orange and lime.
Do a cracker first. This is from your creative.
That was
side,
also
right?
quite pleasant.
I mean, it was, but I don't know.
With the what did you pair it with?
I took both an orange and a green Skittle,
Mhm.
and that also like came out pretty well. Like it's almost like this conforms to the candy. Like whatever candy you have in your mouth. Like when I had the lemon Starburst, this thing tasted like lemonade. You know, when I had that orange and lime, well, it kind of tasted like white sangria.
It's like putting a Jolly Rancher in a zine.
Yeah.
Memory.
All right. Now I get to see Uber-san eat his first Sour Patch Kid.
I'm still like on a high from that. It's gonna take a while.
Wow. Okay, so they're even shaped like the little mascotty guy.
Yeah. Oh wow. It does just kind of take on the flavor of the Skittle. Weird.
I don't like it.
Did you try with the strawberry?
I did.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry.
everything that I've tasted with it helps the wine. I still don't like it.
Fair.
Okay. And out of all of them, I would say the Sour Patch Kid was the least good in terms of like it being able to do something with the wine. But it's really a kind of a toss-up between the Starburst and the Skittles. I think both of them do really well with this.
I have the lemon though.
Did anyone else try anything other than those? Or does anyone else have another opinion of like, did your candy pairing experience turn out different?
No, I think I agree with you that it just kind of takes on the flavor of the candy. We have a strawberry arugula salad, and I had a strawberry that I really liked with it.
Mhm.
I liked the pork taco with it quite a lot.
Did you try the herb cheese?
The herb cheese is the best.
The herb cheese
Yeah,
is the
the
best.
sour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, time to try with some grown-up food.
So you said the herb goat cheese, and the one that I got is really lemony with a little like some rosemary
Definitely
to it.
rosemary.
Ah,
And it's okay with this wine. Considering that I'm not a fan of this wine at all.
You have to like it. You can't be in the club if you don't like all the
Oh.
wine. It's okay.
She doesn't even go here.
I know.
ooh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that is quite different. Yeah, I just had
What?
it with the with my turkey wrapped in with boursin,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, the herbs really kind of come out on that.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And this cheese is really lemony, so makes sense. Like you liked it with the lemon Starburst.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go get a lemon. I'm not.
Huh. So this is pretty good. I almost kind of, I'm both excited and a little scared about ending with the sherry, but yeah, cream sherry is pretty good. At least I've never had a bad cream sherry, and the Osborne is usually rated pretty well. But let's
We
finish
did a
this
show,
off.
and we all kind of hated cherry, except I'm growing. I went out and bought cherry.
Hmm. All right, so our last of the night is going to be our, well, think of it like the Oloroso sherry. So we've got a couple of different things that are kind of shown as going with that, which is this again, it's the Reese's peanut butter cups. And also on the right, they also have the Butterfinger, which kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, again, you're looking at that peanut butter flavor, which because we're having an oxidized sherry that's going to have those nutty, notes already in it, it kind of makes sense for you to pair it with something that, well, is made of nuts. So we have our Osborne cream sherry.
Can I refill you guys? Can I refill you?
Yes.
And as for those audience out there that don't know, cream sherry has no cream in it. The reason why it's called cream sherry is that at least the story goes that some old lady in Jerez was trying this mix of Pedro Jimenez plus Oloroso, and said if Oloroso was milk, then this is cream. And so apparently that's the way it kind of stuck, was cream sherry. Well, and just pouring it, you can already see that it's got this nice, rich, tawny brown
Wow.
note to it.
Did we have this when we did a sherry night?
Mm-mm. We when we did it, we did Fino, we did Amontillado, we did Oloroso, and then we did Pedro Jimenez by itself. And then I kind of told you that if you wanted to taste what cream sherry was like, you could pour some Pedro Jimenez in your Amontillado and your Oloroso. But this they already they do all that mixing for you, and so it's you're not either over or under pouring on the Pedro Jimenez. So yeah, I mean this is straight up oxidized. It's got that orangish brown tint to it.
How do they oxidize it? Like, is it intentionally drill a hole in a barrel?
No, well, they only fill it up like a certain amount, so there's just a bunch of oxygen at the top of the barrel.
But after it's fermented, like they stop the fermentation and put it in like air.
Yep.
Who would do that?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, it's the same thing with tawny port. It's the reason why it's tawny compared to ruby, is that it's been introduced to oxygen over some amount of years.
And rock back and forth on a boat like that. Imagine that, like if you shake it would help that.
So it's definitely
I think that was like how port got created, but I think all that stuff was ruby. Like it wasn't until later that they decided, hey, let's let this stuff sit out in barrels for a couple of years. And hey, turns out it actually tastes better than, the red stuff because it gives it like, these like candied orange peel and almond notes. But let's see what this what kind of notes we get from this. Yeah.
Brown sugar. Brown sugar.
Yep. It's got that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Like molasses.
yeah. Brown sugar.
But I still get like this tangy. It's almost like apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, that's what I. Too much.
But yeah. So this will be. This is going to be very interesting. Oh man, if I don't know if you swirl and look at the legs on this thing between the high amounts of alcohol and sugar in this, this thing has I wouldn't even call them legs. This is what I kind of refer to as cankles.
A little ZZ Top. She's got legs.
Yeah, this girl's thick.
You could turn this into a barbecue sauce.
17%.
No, I'm gonna cook with this. I'm gonna figure it out. You
All
should.
right. So let's give this thing a taste. Cheers.
It would be like taking a $30 instead of a 50-cent glass of applesauce, putting it in your pulled pork, but it would help.
So is anyone getting anything different on the palate? Because now we get like almost like a candied apple, like caramel.
It's almost butter. Is what I was thinking.
Oh, so
Butter?
maybe
Yeah.
like toffee or caramel.
I kind of like this.
I'm so happy for you.
But it's oh, and there it is. Like
This
Wha-
5 of 5.
let it like after a couple of seconds, come back to your palate, and that's where the nuttiness all of a sudden starts.
Nutty.
That's exactly what.
This
That's
is
like-
like the best I've ever had.
This is like Marcona almonds.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, time to try it with the Reese's.
Guys, we need to do s'mores somewhere because a s'more with a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Remember that savory s'mores video I sent? That's what I want to
With
do.
like the braid and stuff.
Because I don't like marshmallows.
No.
I'm very good at roasting marshmallows. Don't get me wrong. But
I did a the school talent show was last night. And afterwards we went over to Johnny Bryce's house, fire pit. I can roast a marshmallow so that it doesn't burn.
It's amazing with a butter.
Oh yeah. Okay. So my spidey senses were right on the money with how well this would work with a peanut butter based candy. And the sweetness. I think I swear it's the sweetness in this that's really doing it. Like at some point I want to try it with an Amontillado and an Oloroso, but I really think that little bit of sweetness from the Pedro Jimenez is really what's making that pairing work.
Butterfingers was one of my dad's favorites. Reminds me of my dad.
Do you guys have peanut butter or Butterfingers?
we do.
I do.
Did you try it with that?
Yes,
Yes.
it was a big hit.
Okay.
Just a regular mixed nuts like cashews and sea salted mixed nuts is
Mhm.
really good. Mhm.
Hmm.
I think I did that.
What do you think? Sarah?
I'm not thinking anything.
Bologna.
This was a fun pairing. Yeah, got to validate some wine memes and
And negate others.
Yeah.
Memes always wrong.
no, I'd say out of the ones that were kind of shown out here, other than the Cabernet with the Reese's, I think that was I think that
Yeah,
was that
not
that
even-
everything else actually turned out pretty well, which
So-
was actually kind of surprising because I mean, especially finding desserts that actually work like besides just dark chocolate that actually work with dry red wines is a little rough. With the cream sherry and the off dry Riesling, those I had kind of already known were more than likely going to do well. But yeah, I think I was actually really surprised with both the Zin and the Cab and how they worked with all the selections.
Okay, so the next meme that always comes up is the Girl Scout cookie wine pairing.
Yeah, that'll be in like February
All right.
or March. I mean, if we're
Just
thinking
throwing
about
it out
the
in,
future,
yeah, just throwing it out there.
Okay. Well, I mean, because I mean, next month, is going to be our traditional Thanksgiving, and it's going to be but I'm going to do a little bit of a twist on it, where I think before we did like 4 Pinots and we're gonna do I think we're still going to have a couple of different Pinots, one New World and Old World, but we're also going to have a Gamay, like a Beaujolais,
Okay.
and I'm thinking about what the 4th will be. But yeah, I think it should be, fun and quite enlightening for, well, what wines, and because it's a week away, you seal those things up right after you drink them, and they should last till Thursday for Thanksgiving. So
What I didn't do, what I wanted to do for the sherry was a spiced tuna onigiri.
for the sherry.
Yeah, I think that would be because your sherry is like I think where your sherry is good is like the tapas. It's like your pre-dinner with some kind of like a salty fish thing.
Mhm.
And I think you can put like onigiri is amazing, right?
Yeah.
I think
Well, I mean, but well, at least in Spain, or especially Jerez, if you're going to be having tapas, you're almost always going to be served fino, and I think at least from what I remember, none of us like the fino, and so that would be that would be my only kind of push against that is like when we start talking about tapas, my first thought is going to go straight to Fino sherry. But
I think we just over sherried it. I think if you do just like a little bit with a nice like anchovy and then move on, right?
One shit.
well,
Yeah.
I guess
Like-
for those of you that like anchovies, because if it's a fish that tastes like fish, I'm not having it.
Like if you don't like anchovies, maybe you're not gonna like sherry, right? Is that not a thing?
That is very, yeah. I mean, and much like I don't like real Spanish paella. I like almost like the bastardized American one that doesn't have a bunch of like abalone in it.
No, go down.
I just wanted to have like chicken and shrimp.
Oh God, the rice. The rice is what makes my head. Oh
Mhm.
God,
Oh, yeah.
Spanish.
The saffron,
Over here.
agreed.
I love Rioja. I love Spain. I should move to Spain.
I'll go with you. We can be roommates.
I think, properties there are
In a boat.
fairly cheap at this point.
France, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm only doing France, so I'm already.
On that note, I'll go ahead and we'll stop everything. So say goodbye to YouTube. See y'all.
Bye, YouTube.
Here.